Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be talking about protective styles. I know there is this misconception. Yes, I said misconception because it's not true. People usually say protective styles grow your hair, and I'm here to give you the reasons, the pros and cons, and just talk about it in general. I'm here to tell you guys that protective styles do not grow your hair. We are going to break it down, of course, so make sure you stick around and watch till the end. Okay, let's go. Now, protective styles are not just a trend. There is strategic approach put in place to help you with your hair care, from maintaining the length of your hair to the overall health of your hair. What are protective styles? Now, when we talk about protective styles, we are referring to those styles that help to shield your hair, especially the ends of your hair. We're referring to those styles that tuck away your hair and shield it from the daily wear and tear. This is because your hair, especially the ends of your hair, is prone to breakage, and because of that you have to always tuck your ends away, which is why we also advise a lot of times that focus on your ends, moisturize them, because they are the most fragile part of your hair. They are the oldest and the most fragile part of your hair. So when you neglect your hair, especially the ends, breakage is going to start from here. Breakage usually starts from the ends of your hair. Your hair does not break from the scalp, it does not break from the middle, it starts from the ends and then it continues like that. And before you know, you discover that you have been keeping your hair for over a year, 2, 3 years, and it's not going anywhere. That is because of breakage, and it's as a result of not caring for your ends or not tucking away your ends that leads to that. Moving on, we are going to talk about hairstyles that are considered to be protective hairstyles, or hairstyles that are great protective hairstyles. And then we're going to talk about hairstyles that are considered to be protective hairstyles, but there's a little trick to it. You have to be quite careful and put certain things into consideration when you have them installed. And also hairstyles that are not protective hairstyles. Some great examples of protective styles include mini twists, mini braids, and with mini twists and mini braids you can always add little kinky extensions and all that, just to the ends to increase your length, especially if you are someone that has short hair. But someone like me with a head full of hair, I might not bother doing that, or I might want to add the extensions. Okay, there are so many styles, so many styles, and it all depends on how you do it. We also have some natural hair updos, the sleek buns, the buns, like the ones that they pack and go up, and then we also have flat twist hairstyles. See, if you know me and you follow me on other social media platforms, you will know that I am big on flat twist hairstyles. Like, they're just the best. They are low manipulation hairstyles. And when we talk about mini twists, mini braids, flat twist hairstyles, and all these other cute little hairstyles we do with our hair, especially the ones where we tuck our ends away, those are great protective styles. So when we talk about protective styles like mini twists, mini braids, flat twist styles, like just any hairstyle with your natural hair, that you can actually tuck your ends away. There is just so much to unpack with this, but first you just need to understand how to care for your hair. There are other braiding this thing that we usually do. Like, there was a style I did. I added kinky, I braided the front, and then I did twist at the back. And let's be honest here, there are certain protective hairstyles, and be certain hairstyles you will do that you know that, oh, for this hairstyle I know that I'm going to be neglecting scalp care, I'm going to be neglecting moisturizing my hair. Do you understand? And in situations like this, most times I decide to keep that hair in for a month at most, sometimes 3 weeks, and then I take it down. So there are pros and cons to this thing. I also already mentioned the updos, right? The buns and the updos we do with our natural hair. As far as your ends are tucked away, it's good. Sometimes I actually wear my hair out. Let's be honest here. Yes, I wear my hair out. Of course, you are free to wear your hair out, but please do not do it so often that it become normalized. You understand? Because there are times I've worn my bun out like that. I did not tuck my ends away. I'll put a picture here for you. There are times I've done it like that. But the funny thing is that wearing my hair like that, I only wear my hair like that when I know I'm going to be in the car or something. Because if I do mistake and sit on top bike with my hair in a bun like that, oh my god, once the bike is going, I'm moving backward like this. So a lot of times when I style my hair like that, it's mostly for tutorials or just for an outing, and of course that outing is not going to be on bike. Then we also have cornrows. Cornrows can be with just your hair, or you can add extensions. Now here is the thing about doing styles like cornrows and all that. When you are doing styles like that, the beginning really matters, because trust me, cornrows can be a protective style, but they can put so much tension on your edges depending on how they are done. So usually in situations like that, when I go to get my hair done in cornrows, I always tell the stylist, start braiding with my hair, and please do not tight it in such a way that it's so difficult for me to even move my forehead. So you have to tell these people these things. So when you go to make your hair cornrows and even braids, you tell them that they should not tight your edges, and they should not even pick part of your edges. Like, you see the front part of my edges here, no, please leave it for me. Leave it for me. I will use edge control. So when you go to make your hair, tell them that they should not pick the tiny bit of your hair, and they should start braiding with your hair. It's really, really important, because if you allow those people to start braiding with extensions, there's a way it just appears very blunt, and then with time you discover that it's moving up together with your hair, and at the end of the day you discover that your edges are gone. That is because the cornrows were not installed properly. But if you are doing them with just your natural hair, then you don't have anything to worry about. Another thing is wigs. Yes, some people consider wigs as protective hairstyles and some don't. And with every hairstyle, there are pros and cons. Now, if you are installing a wig, let's say you want to do a frontal, right? You know that frontals, they will chop off your edges. So you might want to reduce how you do it. And then when you're talking about things like sewings and all that. But another thing you need to know about wigs is that when your hair is under a wig, you cannot moisturize. There is no scalp care whatsoever. So you can also do it like other hairstyles. Maybe when you get your wig installed, be it a frontal or a sewing, you can just let it be. So you may be like, after a month or 3 weeks, yes, then you take it down. But then again, for those of you that love frontals, please be careful so that you don't lose your edges. And for the sewings, don't let it stay in for too long, because that can cause a lot of build up. You can also neglect your scalp care and all that. There are pros and cons to all these things. You just need to know what works for you and what you are willing to do for your hair. Next, let's talk about the king himself, or the queen herself, braids. Yes, you know, braids holds a significant cultural value to us black people and to us Africans in general. You understand? So it's not something that you tell us black women or Africans that we should not do braids. It is not possible. Personally, I cannot do without braids. Just that I don't get them done frequently. You understand? And plus, attachment is not anybody's needs. Hair extensions are so expensive. So because of that, I just wear braids less. And honestly, from last year to this year, I wear more of my hair. So when it comes to braids, braids can be a protective style. Yes, they can be it knotless or the other one. They can be a protective style. But then again, they can also cause significant amount of damage to your hair if they are not installed properly or if they are not maintained. Let me break it down for you. One thing you need to keep at the back of your mind when getting braids is that even the amount of hair extensions you use is going to affect your hair. Now, in general, braids have to be maintained and they have to be installed a certain way for them to be safe for you. So when you're installing your braids, you want to make sure that the tension on your scalp and on your edges is not much. You have to make sure that is minimal. So like I mentioned previously, when you do braids that put a lot of tension on your edges, just know that you are heading for, bald edges. So you have to be really careful when they're getting installed for you. And another thing is maintenance of braids. Oh my God. Because some of you, yes, some of you, I know you're looking at me, some of you carry your braids for 2 to 3 months. Some people even go longer. And I ask myself, like, how? Does it not stink? Like, how much did you spend on the braids that you are keeping them in for that long? Personally, I've never carried braids for longer than 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Yes. Even that 6 weeks is too long. Sometimes 5 weeks at most, sometimes a month. And it's been so long I even had them. So please, when you carry your braids for that long, you're neglecting washing, you're neglecting your scalp care, you're risking a lot of product buildup on your scalp, because when people have braids, they tend to apply oils and some other scalp care products. So when you leave your braids in for that long and you're applying these things, even if you're not applying them, there's still going to be buildup of dirt on your scalp. And at the end of the day, this can also lead to excessive shading. So please and please stop keeping your braids in for too long. I beg una, I take God beg una, please. Another thing is manipulation and weight of extensions. You know that hair extensions can be quite heavy, especially the attachments. And I know there are different styles of braids. Now, there's this other one that is really coily tips. Those extensions do not look very heavy. I think depending on how much you have installed though. But my point is the weight of extensions can also put a strain on your edges, and that can further put a lot of tension on your edges. Next is dryness and breakage. Now, when you keep your braids in for too long, in fact, braids in general deprive your hair of moisture. They can be really drying. So when you have your hair in braids, it's impossible to moisturize your hair. It's impossible to do that. So when you keep them in for too long, you are depriving your hair of moisture, you are depriving your hair of proper care, and you know that natural hair thrives on moisture. So please do not keep your braids in for too long, because by the time you do that, like I said earlier, braids dry out your hair. They suck every bit of moisture from your hair, and this can lead to breakage. When there's dryness, there's breakage. So keep that at the back of your mind when you're thinking of keeping your braids in for 2 months, even 6 weeks, for longer than 6 weeks. Another thing is styling. Braids are one of the most versatile hairstyles, okay? They give you the luxury of switching up your looks, trying different hairstyles. They are just that hairstyle. But the updos, the buns, and those other ones that we do put a lot of tension on the edges. While you are doing all those ponytails, doing the bun, doing all the hairstyles, you guys know when you are doing them, you also have to keep it at the back of your mind that this is putting a lot of strain on my edges, and that can lead to more tension on your edges and then cause thinning of your hair over time, thinning of your edges over time. Okay, so keep that at the back of your mind. If you're someone that loves braids a lot, you need to understand how to care for your hair when it's in braids. Maybe try as much as possible. Like if you intend keeping it for like 6 weeks, you can still wash. The good thing is that you can actually do your scalp care even when your hair is in braids. So you can actually wash your hair maybe after 2 weeks or 3 weeks of having them in. That is if you intend to keep them for like 6 weeks. Wash it and then apply oil and massage your scalp. So you just have to learn and find your way. Think of ways that you can be able to take care of your hair. Think of ways that you can also make sure that your hair is healthy even when they are in braids. And then reduce the tension, the excessive styling and all that. Just do hairstyles that put less tension on your hair, and be careful when you are getting them installed. In summary, protective styles are those hairstyles that are there to help you reduce manipulating your hair, to protect your hair from harsh environmental conditions like hot sun. Like, see the way it's hot now in Nigeria. Oh my god. Allowing your hair to be able to retain moisture and to minimize breakage. So you have to know when a style is a protective style, and you have to know when a style is not a protective style. Let's talk about styles that are not protective styles, and with this I'm just going to give examples. I'm not going to spend much time. Number one, ponytails. Yes, you see those ponytails that they put gel, they slick, like your eyes are literally snatched. Those ponytails, in fact, they cause, is it traction alopecia? That one that there's a bald spot at the top of your hair. So if you're someone that is obsessed about ponytails, it can lead to a number of problems for you, from the tension on your edges to developing a bald spot. So you have to know how you can alternate. It's very, very important, unless you don't care about the health of your hair. Another thing is slick buns. You know those ones that they do with gel and they pack your hair up, and it's so sleek, and even that one can lead to alopecia. It can cause a bald spot for you. So all these hairstyles come with a lot of problems. If I can think of more examples, I'm going to put them right here on the screen for you guys. Now moving on, let's talk about how protective styles support the growth of your hair. So like I said, protective styles do not directly stimulate growth from your hair follicles. Do you get me? But they indirectly contribute to the growth of your hair by length retention. Yes, protective hairstyle is directly linked to length retention, because when your hair is in a protective style, there's less manipulation. So that leads me to my first point, reducing manipulation. When your hair is in a protective style, you're not tugging at it, you're not combing every time, you're not trying to style your hair every day of your life. Do you understand? You're not trying to, switch up, like, see the way my hair is. Imagine it waking up every day and trying to switch up my look. Yes, you're not trying to do that. It's just in one style. You're not trying to straighten your hair with heat tools every day of your life. And even at that, a lot of these protective styles are actually versatile. Like mini twist, you can still do some cute little hairstyles. With braids, you can still style your hair. So you can still switch up your look from time to time. But the point is, or my point is, at least you're not manipulating it like you would if it was out like this. Still on reducing manipulation, we also have minimized breakage, because for some styles like mini twists, mini braids, you can still moisturize your hair. There's less breakage if you don't keep them in for too long. If you're able to moisturize, of course, I'm aware that it's not all protective styles that you can actually moisturize your hair, but if it's the one that you can moisturize your hair, then yes, you can be moisturizing it from time to time. But if not, make sure you don't keep it in for too long to avoid breakage, okay? Because if you keep it in for too long, this point is now useless for you. It's not going to prevent that breakage for you. Your hair is going to break a lot by the time you are taking it down. And when breakage is minimized, you are able to retain length. That is what I was saying. Protective styles are directly linked to length retention. That is the role that they play. They indirectly contribute to the growth of your hair by length retention. Do you understand? Number two is shielding from harsh environmental conditions. I already mentioned that, from this hot weather, sunlight, dust, and all that. Number three, protective styles also encourage moisture retention. But a lot of times our hair is blown out before you get a protective style installed, especially if you want to do things like wigs, even braids, okay? But if it's like a mini twist, mini braids, yes, you're able to retain more moisture on your hair, because a lot of times that is done in the natural state of your hair, unless you decide to do otherwise. But you get my point. Number four, protective styles allow you to focus on your scalp head, but even so, it's not all of them. Braids allow you to do that, mini braids allow you to do that, mini twist allow you to do that, but yeah, even cornrows, because but for cornrows, it's going to be more of massaging your scalp. Do you understand? But in the first three that I mentioned, that is the mini braids, the mini twists, and then the normal braids, like box braids, you can be able to actually wash your hair and then refreshing your hair all over again. Do you get my point? So yes, they do allow you to do that, but it's not in every case. So the summary of what I just explained, it all boils down to length retention, because when your hair is in a protective style, there is zero to no chance, or little to no chance, of your hair breaking off. There's little to no chance of you manipulating your hair, and that helps you to be able to retain length. Even if protective styles are time efficient because you don't spend so much time on your hair, even if they are versatile as you're able to switch up your styles, even if there's less manipulation when you have them in, and the list goes on, even if all those are really good things for your hair, still it comes with risks of tension and traction and alopecia, depending on the type of hairstyle you choose. And it also comes with the risks of product buildup, especially when you leave your hairstyles in for too long. And lastly, maintenance challenge, because a lot of people still don't know how to properly care for their hair when it's in a protective style. I think I've said a few things that can actually help you in this video on how to maintain your protective style, on how to care for your hair when it's in a protective style, but you can still go ahead and do an in-depth research, okay? So let's move on to the next point. Another thing I would like you to keep in mind is that choose protective styles according to the texture of your hair, according to your hair type rather. Yes, it's really, really important. There are some styles that will be too much for someone that has a more finer hair. You get my point? Someone that has more loose curl pattern, someone that has, let's say, 3B hair or 3A hair. Yes, there are some styles that is going to be too much for that type of person. But for someone that has like my texture of hair or 4C hair, it's going to be perfect for the person. So learn how to choose hairstyles that are appropriate for your hair type. Really, really important. Keep that at the back of your mind. To round up this video, let's go over some of the most important things I said. I said it's important not to keep your protective hairstyles in for too long. It's important to, properly care for your hair. Please do not neglect your hair. It's really, really crucial for you to also keep the health of your edges and the overall health of your hair when you are getting these hairstyles installed. It's important to choose protective hairstyles that are appropriate for your hair type. If I missed anyone, I believe I've already said it in this video, but that was a summary of everything. And to conclude this video, final, I want to tell you why these protective hairstyles help in length retention by minimizing breakage. They do not in any way or any circumstance accelerate your hair growth cycle or the growth of your hair. They do not. I repeat, they do not. Your hair follicles continue to produce hair at the natural state, which is largely determined by your genetics, your nutrition, and the overall health of your body. So please and please don't let anyone tell you that this protective style is going to grow your hair. That protective style is going to help you with length retention, which also supports hair growth. But protective style is directly linked to length retention. It does not cause the hair in your hair follicle to sprout out at a faster rate. It does not do that, okay? And there is something called the anagen phase in the hair growth cycle. Everybody's anagen phase varies. My anaging phase could be shorter than yours. Your anaging phase could be shorter than the next person. The other person's anaging phase could be longer than your own. This means that the longer your anaging phase, the faster your hair is going to grow before it sheds off. And because of that, that's why you tend to see that someone might be keeping natural hair for 2 years the same time with you, but when you look at it, you're like, oh, this person's hair is longer than mine. That is because that person's anaging phase is longer than yours. Your anaging phase is actually shorter. I've made a video explaining this and I'm going to link it up in the description, so please do make sure to check it out. Anyways, we have come to the end of my video. On this channel, we do everything surrounding natural hair, lifestyle, and makeup content, and if that sounds like what interests you, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, share it to someone you think needs to see it, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye!